Welcome back
to Standards Aquatics.
So tonight, we got a special episode here for you. We're filming from a different area in the house. We're actually out in our garage. It's a mess. It's wintertime here. Bear with us. Got my beautiful wife here, Alicia, with us tonight.
Hi.
And we got Bentley behind the camera over there.
What's up, guys?
So Bentley's holding the camera here tonight, so bear with us if we're a little wiggly. He's not the best at it, but he's going to get there. So we're going to show you one of our tanks, and this tank, does it really work? There's a lot of fish in here that aren't supposed to go together. We understand temperaments of fish and how things go and how they're supposed to act and what they do. But if you ask a lot of the experts, these fish don't belong together. They've done good so far. We're keeping an eye on them. We're starting to get a little bit of aggression, so we're going to up the size of the tank here before long. I actually got a couple fish in this tank that I told y'all not to buy, but I got it for my wife because she wanted them, and now I'm going to buy a much bigger tank. Baby, you want to step in? You want to show them a couple of your favorite fish here?
Yeah, a couple of my favorite fish is the bala shark and the leaf fish. He's in here somewhere.
He's back here behind that wood.
Oh, behind the wood back there.
We'll get a little better shot of him here in a minute. I'll kind of run you through here some of these fish that we have in here. So one of the crazy ones in here that we get all the time, we have people hang out in our garage and we have some drinks. We got TV on the wall and all that good stuff. We have a good time out here. But we got this big boy down here, this big old dojo loach. These guys are pretty cool. So when the weather gets to going crazy and barometric pressure changes, these guys go absolutely crazy. But we got him as a rescue, actually. We went through, got a call there for somebody that had a couple of angelfish that needed to be rescued. Got there and come to find out these angelfish have been in one of them little bitty McDonald's buckets for 3 days. I couldn't save them. They were just too far gone. But the lady said, hey, I got this crazy eel here too. You can have it. Happens to be this dojo loach. He's been with us for about a year now. He's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we have in this tank here, some of the fish we have. We've got our Turkana jewels in here. You see these guys? We got two gorgeous boys in the back. We got a girl sitting back there in the back. She's actually got babies that she's sitting on. And if you guys watch any of our episodes, you know that we just recently lost both of our breeding pair of Turkana jewels. We were very, very sad about it. But we've got this girl in here, and we're going to take this stunning boy here, and we're actually going to breed them. We're going to get some more gorgeous Turkanas out of these guys. But the tank being out in the garage, you notice we got a whole bunch of heaters in here. There's two up front. There's another one in back. We pull these out after the winter time is over. But keeps our tank at 75 degrees. It's good enough for all these guys. Keeps them all happy and healthy. So a couple other fish that we have in here. We got some gouramis in here. If you see these guys, we got our big boy here and a big girl over here. These guys have been the star of a show here. They were the ones that showed y'all how to breed gouramis. They're pretty good at it. But we have a couple other gouramis. They're actually down in the basement right now that we pulled out of this tank. They're going through and they're trying to make some more babies for us as well. We're breeding a couple of different colors, trying to see what we're going to get. We're experimenting and playing around, seeing what we can do. Of course, we got the big bala shark, one Alicia's favorite fish in this whole tank here.
He's gorgeous.
These guys get to be humongous, and they really do need a much, much bigger tank. This here is a 150-gallon tank. We're going to up it. We'll go to about a 220, maybe a 300 here come summertime, and we'll get a lot of these guys moved out of here and into a different tank so they got a little more room to grow out. But we have it heavily decorated to kind of keep some of the aggression. A lot of lines of sight's broken. So we've got our Le Lupe down here, big yellow boy down here. He's a bit aggressive in here, but there's enough fish moving around that he really hasn't hurt anybody yet. But we have him. We actually had a girl that we were going to breed him with, and we ended up losing her. It was a pretty sad day. So we got a few more in here. What we've got, one of my personal favorites, and there's probably another fish just like the bala shark that should be in a school. He seems to be pretty happy and always active. We've got our archer fish back here in the back. These are one of the fish that I've always wanted, and I found one solo archer one day, and I had to get him. This guy was little bitty when I got him, and he's getting to be pretty good size. He's another reason that we're going to need a much larger tank, because these guys get to be about 7 or 8 inches. They get to be pretty good size as well. And that leaf fish back there, you see him back by the wood, he's going to get to be pretty good size too.
Yeah.
So with all these massive fish that get real big, we're going to need something much larger. So down in here, we got ourselves some clown loaches. We actually got these guys. And if you've ever had clown loaches, you got to love them. These guys will come up to the tank sometime and they'll be laying on their side. You think they're dead? Nope. Come find out, they're just playing around. That's just part of what they do. But you get snails in your tank and you want to get rid of snails, those guys, you're perfect. They'll get them all. They eat every single one of them. That's actually why we have these guys in here. But they also get to be very, very large. They get to be almost a foot long. They live to be almost 20 years old. That's an old fish.
That is an old fish.
So a couple more fish that we have in here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw some food in here and get some of these guys moving. There's like 90,000 different hiding spots in here on purpose. But we're just going to sprinkle a whole bunch of food in here. We'll get some of these guys good and active so you can see them. We got a school of cory cats in there. There's about 6 or 7 of them in here. These guys stay moving around in here active, doing their thing. Have ourselves a couple black calvis. These guys, you don't see a whole lot of them. It's these 2 guys right here. When we got them and we put them in a tank, we actually got them to breed. And come to find out, I got 2 boys, and 2 boys ain't going to breed. You ain't going to get no babies out of that. So we put these guys in here and kind of watched their mentality, and they became more active than I've ever seen them. It's been really, really cool because they're out and about all the time. So a few more of the cool fish here we're going to start seeing coming out of nowhere. We got our little shark back here. We got, here he comes. He's wiggling and jiggling. These guys are super duper active. He's another reason that we're going to need a much, much larger tank. We got our upside down catfish that comes out. He hides back there in that wood all the time. We got a Chinese algae eater in here as well. And somewhere in here, there's another Synodontis cat that he likes to come out and play every once in a while too. But these guys stay super well hidden. But this tank, if you get out there and you start talking to people, they're going to tell you African cichlids don't go with gouramis. They're going to tell you clown loaches don't go with these sharks. They're going to tell you the leaf fish don't go with the rainbows. They're going to tell you all of this stuff that these guys don't go together. They're actually right. This tank has done so well because there's temperament of different fish. Just because somebody tells you there's no black and white to this. Some of these fish, they just get along. They have the right temperament. The lay loop is probably a little bit too aggressive for these guys, but they haven't heard anything. He hasn't heard anybody. We're watching them real close. We spend a lot of time hanging out here. A little less here when it's cold outside. But if you're going to mix fish together that you know don't go together, you have to keep a close eye on them. The Turkana jewels, they're a little more peaceful of a jewel, but they have the ability to be just absolutely brutal killers if they need to be. The weather loach, he's going to get along with about anybody. The same with the cory cats. They're not going to hurt anybody. I'm more worried about some of the catfish getting out there and actually hurting these guys than I am anything. But I keep a close eye on them. I don't have any issues with fins being nipped or anything along those lines. The sharks and the Synodontis cats, they're not bothering them. The black calvis, they were a little shyer than, they were a lot shyer fish until I put them in here, and they become real active, and nobody seems to mess with them either. And gouramis, they can hold their own against about anybody. These guys are pretty cool as well. But at the end of the day, these guys shouldn't get together. There goes our little Synodontis cat, a little Petricola. He's back there moving around. But at the end of the day, this really shouldn't work, but it does. And it's all about the temperament of the fish. Some fish, fish, they're animals. They're not all the same. For the most part, they have the same qualities, the same everything, but mixing these guys, you just got to be careful with what you do and know what you're doing. But like I said, it's all about temperament. And these guys seem to get along really well. We're at the point we know we're going to start having some aggression, and we're starting to not have enough tank space. So we're going to end up upgrading them here in the next couple months and get them something much, much larger. We'll put your video out on that one too. You'll love it. I'm actually wanting to build a big plywood tank. I just don't trust myself enough. And Jason, if you're watching, maybe you might want to help.
I don't trust them either.
Maybe Jason, you can help us. But this is just a big hodgepodge of fish, pretty much, is what it's turned out to be. It's some absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous stunners here. But anyway, so at the end of the day, y'all have tanks like this, show them to us. We'd love to see them.
Yeah.
Show us tanks that you got that have fish together that shouldn't be together. Or maybe the perfect setup. You got your angelfish with with your rainbows and your cory cats. It's a perfect setup and a gorgeous setup. Please put some of your show fish in here. We want to see them. We
Yeah.
want to see what you got. You got something you think we should keep that we're not keeping? Let me know. I might already be keeping it. I got tanks that y'all haven't seen yet. Quite a few of them, actually. And we'll probably get to those here one of these days. But at the end of the day, everything's not always what they tell you. Don't always go by the black and white. You're still learning, still getting there. I've kept fish for a couple of decades. I got a pretty good feel for the temperament of a lot of fish, and I keep a pretty good eye on them. Alicia's learning a whole lot. Bentley, the man behind the camera, he's still learning a whole lot too. But they're learning and growing and doing what we're doing. But you guys have any questions? Like I said, I want to see some of your fish. Show me what you got. Put them in the comments. Give me a good video.
And do y'all have a favorite out of our show tank? These are all of our prized possession fish.
What do you got? If you got questions on anything that you see in here, we've gotten pretty good about taking care of all these guys here too. But we really appreciate you guys. Thanks again for watching Sanders Aquatics.
Like and subscribe.